And in international news, South Korea's parliament approved a free trade bill with the European Union on Wednesday, and by that removed the last obstacle for the pact to take effect in July. It is expected to boost the value of trade between the two to about 100 billion euros. The bill will scrap 98% of import duties as well as trade barriers in manufactured goods, farm products and services in the next 5 years. South Korea's ruling Grand National Party welcomed the parliament approval, saying the free trade deal is expected to create 250,000 jobs and contribute to people's lives by stabilizing prices and improving incomes. The European Parliament approved the deal in February, clearing the way for the EU's largest bilateral free trade deal, which is also its first with an Asian country. Private US payrolls grew by a smaller than expected amount in April, while layoff announcements were at their lowest so far this year, according to a private report ahead of official statistics that are due on Friday. Private payrolls grew by 179,000 last month, according to payroll company ADP, a figure that was below Wall Street consensus. But in a positive sign, figures for March were revised upward. Meanwhile, job cut announcements were down 12% in April compared to March and down 5% from a year ago. While the ADP Employer Services report is closely watched, investors will put an even greater focus on the jobless claims and non-farm payroll numbers coming out on Friday.
As far as the economic data goes, we are about to get the biggest report we get every month, the labor report, non-farm payroll report on Friday. So I think the market's looking for a couple 100,000 jobs. We've seen some gradual improvement in the jobs market. That's going to be a very important number on Friday.
Indian Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee met his French counterpart Christine Lagarde during the Asian Development Bank meeting in Vietnam on Wednesday. The 44th annual meeting of the Board of Governors is also being attended by other finance ministers like those from Japan and China. Among others, the delegates will focus their discussions on food, energy, climate change, poverty reduction and long-term economic growth in the Asia-Pacific region. The meeting is being held at a time when the skyrocketing commodities and fuel prices are threatening to push more and more people below the poverty line. Also, while addressing the seminar, French Minister Christine Lagarde said implementing financial regulations were high on the discussion list during the meeting, which was attended by about 4,000 experts.
With that, Nick, I would like to just very simply list a few other topics that are high on our list. That includes, for instance, implementing the financial regulation to bring a bit more security than we had in the last few years. Second, fight against corruption, and that includes the fight that we entertain against the non-cooperative jurisdiction, but also corruption as it rots the system in many places around the world, and nobody is excluded from that. Third, how do we tackle the volatility of commodity prices, both in physical markets and in financial markets? And finally, how do we finance both development and climate change using innovative financing, because we all know too well that our budgetary means are restricted and we cannot simply draw on massive deficits either here or there.
Before we head back to news, let's take a quick look at the Asian equity, the commodity and the currency markets, and after that, Mona Nasser is back with the news.